Here in the UK, you've got a tax system now that now, for its own fault, has now become the driving force for the emissions reduction. Because the lower you get the emissions, the lower tax you pay. Not only is it lower tax, you've then got to start looking at the employees' car tax. If you can take a car sub 100 grams, as a company car, you've just given an employee an instant pay rise without even spending a penny. But the problem is, you're hitting the taxman, so he's going to want it back somewhere else. And this is the problem with this driver now, is this is where we're going. We're attacking the taxman on 4 different levels of tax. That's the problem they've got. They've got to try and claw that back somehow. So they've got a shock coming. In the next 2 years, it's going to be a major shock. Tax has to be adjusted in this country. But at the moment, it's the driving force for the eco-drive, because everybody's being hit hard. You can beat the tax, you've just got a commercial sale point.
But where the tax should come back is actually on taxing the fuel in the first place, because that then encourages it.
Yeah,
I don't see any reason for the taxman to actually receiving less income. All he's got to do is actually tax more fuel, tax less fuel at a higher rate in order to bring the same sort of amount of money in, which is actually good, as long as
self-governing systems.
As long as the incentives to actually keep the tax away from the lower fuel usage vehicles is actually maintained. But I mean, there are obvious sort of like real outstanding sort of contradictions there in the tax policies at the moment. Things like BSOP, where effectively public vehicle operators get the tax back on, or a significant proportion back on the tax on the diesel that they pay. So you're removing the incentive through the tax system in some cases. And there is some adjustment, I think, that needs to be done.
It's a major adjustment, I think. It's going to be a quiet shock for them in the next couple of months.
It's interesting as well on the legislative side, in that as opposed to bringing new technologies in, that there's a vehicle out there, I just noticed on the stand out there, which is actually less than 100 grams per kilometre at the moment, which has got the zero fuel rating or zero tax rating in it, which is using a 1.4 turbo petrol engine in it.
Oh right, Volkswagen.
I think there's a Seat actually.
There's
one sitting out there, which is actually interesting, because if the mileposts, in order to encourage developmental change, keep being met by the existing technologies,
it'll reduce the
you're still going to have to keep moving them in order to actually keep the incentive focused on the new technologies, aren't you? I mean, it's all to the good. That's exactly what the milestones are there for. And if you can actually produce something like those significant improvements using existing technology, you've got to actually use those up first, I suppose, really, haven't you? To extract the maximum that you possibly can out of them before you squeeze more elsewhere, maybe.
Our first hybrid rally car, the Honda Insight, was launched in 1999. It had 80 grams per kilometre CO2 emissions, and there is still nothing almost 10 years later on the market now that can match those CO2 emissions. And all Honda did was they developed a hybrid system, and then in all other areas of the car they went back to first principles. They got excellent aerodynamics, lightweight, stiff structure, low friction in all the moving components of the car, and an Insight, does 70 miles to the gallon with ease. And we have 3 of them, so we use them as our regular road cars. Yet it's taken the industry sort of 10 years, and they still haven't quite caught up. It was slightly compromised as a vehicle because it was only a 2-seater, but it would be very easy to get the same sort of performance out of the vehicle in a 4-seat body shell. So it just shows how slow there was a car that would do the job 10 years ago, and the rest of the industry has been very, very slow in catching up because it didn't need to.
But I think part of the blame with that is how it's all set up. And why is it only a manufacturer can change the calibration scores on the car? Why can't it be, if someone comes up with something, why can't you take
company.
it? Exactly. You have to be a major manufacturer. So that's the stumbling block. So you don't have to start, once you've done it, go back to the start, and then go through the whole process again to get a major manufacturer on board. And that can take you 2-3 years. That's the problem. If the government opened that up so anybody can take a car in, if they want to pay for the testing facility, it's their choice. It's their money. Let them challenge it. So you can take any car, but at the moment I can take a car in there, take it in and say, for a prime example, under 100 grams, from 300 grams, but I'll still pay that road tax on 300 grams. I can't challenge that. It's the recorded results with what the manufacturer put it in at, so that's it. So I have to wait for the manufacturer to bring it in, instead of being able to challenge it and say, why can't I make this car a hybrid and do it myself?
Yeah, and this would actually could effectively become the new tuning industry.
Yeah.
In the old days, you bought a standard car,
Yep.
you put lots of bits on, you made it go faster. Now you buy a standard car, if you've got the technology, you can make it more fuel efficient and have lower CO2 emissions. But as you say, it's getting that message across so you can then gain the potential tax advantages. But I can see the potential for an industry where you can take cars and optimise them to make them more efficient, because it's what we do and you do. That's how we make our living, isn't it? I suppose.